Okay, Wednesday, June 26, 2024, and on Friday, and on Monday, and on Tuesday, The View opened with debate preparation. Fuck off. We know one of them is taking it seriously as an actual candidate for president, and the other one is just signaling, you know, don't expect much because it's going to be a shit show. And it's going to be a shit show. Um, he's not going to be able to stop talking. So it doesn't matter that the mics are turned off. I can't wait to see it, but I'm not going to get to see it live because um, I'm going to be at a Hootie and the Blowfish concert. Anyway, so I'll watch it after. But yeah, so today they talked about Trump's sort of parading the vice presidential candidates through the Fox News uh, cycle of shows. And this is finally where Amy Alyssa Farrah Griffin earns her keep, because I think she was dead on about this particular event. What did she call it? The Veepstakes. Um, he wants to see who gets the biggest number, right? Who are people actually tuning in for? Um, and she's right. He doesn't want anyone who's going to outshine him. He doesn't want anyone who's going to try to usurp him. Um, and he needs a loyalist and a yes man, and it will be a man. But all these idiots and sycophants, just they most of them trashed him publicly once, and JD Vance does a nice job of sort of answering that by saying, so I was wrong in 2016 and he proved me wrong, and I can admit that. It's like, okay, that's not actually kind of makes you sound like a rational human being, except you're not. You're a fascist little prick, um, and a social climbing, you know, power hungry little pissant. I can't stand him. But it's a great line for the Fox News viewers because they like to believe, anything. um, but it was surprising to hear because they were talking about, um, you know, the political strategy of it all. And Sarah Haynes, like, what a weird little Pollyanna sometimes she is. She talked about how Roe v. Wade was overturned and it went back to the states, and that Donald Trump isn't talking about a federal abortion ban because he knows it's not a winning strategy. So it's like almost like we don't have to worry about how far the evangelicals and the maggots and all the far right have taken it. But I mean, don't get me wrong, Donald Trump is far right. Um, but yes, you do, Sarah. I mean, he might know enough to say, I can't say I'll put in a federal abortion ban, um, because he knows that that won't help get him elected. But it doesn't mean he doesn't want to. Um, except for him and people like him, they get to have abortions, to hide their mistresses. Um, but like I couldn't understand Sarah. It was like they're pushing it back to the states, and he can't. It was like, what are you talking about? Have you not noticed what's gone on in the states and how it's thrown women's health care across the country into fucking turmoil? How do you try to justify, like, oh, he's not going to do that? Fuck you, Sarah. Like, where did your head go? Um, it, you know, they just talked about Project 2025 the other day. Sometimes it's like they listen to me because I was complaining about how they haven't mentioned it yet, and the next day there they are talking about it, um, at least briefly. Um, but I don't get how you can forget how so the fundamental things that he's got like a fascist manifesto. Of course, he's going to try to do anything that he can by edict. And when you have, the FDA and the NIH and everybody else that's in your pocket, you've made them an employee and a sycophant of the president. He can basically have them say whatever he wants. Um, it was a weird like, but he said, and he's not going to do that. Where is your head, Susan Collins? Oh, that's it. Oh, Sarah Haynes is the Susan Collins of the View panel. Um, I kind of feel like that's true. Uh, yeah, and then what was up with Joy just constantly interrupting everybody to go to make a separate point altogether? Like, let Sunny finish her thought. Although it would be, not unreasonable to think that she didn't realize that that was Sunny, because I didn't. They did a quick scan and I wasn't totally paying attention, and I was like, "Who's that blonde Asian lady?" It's cute, but I was sad to hear that that's not her hair. I was kind of hoping, oh, like, let's get a cute bob for the summer, Sunny, but she didn't. Anyway, the whole VP thing, he'll trot them all out and make them all sweat for it because he loves to the kind of cage match competition bullshit. But I do think it would be kind of funny if at the end of the day he just picked Eric. It's not out of the realm of possibility either. Um, but or even oh God, should he win, kick the vice president out and then replace it with a family member. That's what he did with everybody, on The Apprentice. Remember, he had those executives, George and Caroline, whatever their names were. They were his right and left hands, and they watched the teams, and until Carolyn or Caroline or whatever her name was started to talk back, and that was it for her. Out she went, and got replaced by Venky. And then the other one, George, got replaced by Junior. It's a family business. Like, I wouldn't put it past him to take Eric along for the ride, because Eric's the only one who showed up in court. Oh Lord! All right, well, that's, what is it? Wednesday.